Hey everybody, it's Mike from Orderflows, and welcome to this replay of the webinar I did earlier on the Orderflows Power Bars. Now, I apologize for those of you that were on live. There was an issue that I had with sharing my screen. So, as much to my chagrin, what I was talking about wasn't being projected onto, everybody at home. And I didn't realize it until a bit later. And so I had to end it early, and I just, actually I went about 45 minutes, and then I realized what was going on and the issue. So I just find it easier to record this one now. So again, those that stuck around, thank you. And, those that didn't, I hope you enjoy this presentation. So what I want to talk about today is the Orderflows Power Bars. And what it is it's a new indicator that I released earlier this week that helps traders trade order flow around value. Okay, now if you're not familiar with what value is in the market, a lot of traders nowadays like to use volume profile, but volume profile is sort of a offspring of market profile, which came out I think in the 1980s. It just sort of morphed more into volume profile. Now people that use market profile, they're really die hard. They really understand the markets, right? Because they understand where value is in the market, and I think that's where a lot of traders get lost out there. They're so busy following price. Oh, price traded here, price traded there, they're quote following price action. Well, value is more important than price action, if once you understand value, right? Because you understand what something is worth, right? So for example, I just drove up from Orlando to Chicago the last couple of days. And, I stopped in Georgia because my wife's like, I want to eat some peach ice cream. Okay, because we're in Georgia, right? And they grow peaches there. Well, I stopped at this nice farm, and, they also got other vegetables for sale. And I just, I just wanted vegetables. So like, oh, I'll buy this, buy that. I was like, well, that's so expensive, for this okra. I'm like, yeah, but it looks so nice. He said, well, it's cheaper where we live. Okay. So I didn't buy it because she understood the value. Me, I just, I'm attracted to it. But when you understand value, you understand that, you're going to buy things that are below value, or, you're going to buy something you have in your mind what value is, right? So say, for example, this pack of okra was, I don't know, I don't remember the price, but say it was $5. So, well, hey, it's $3 where I do my grocery shopping. Okay. Even though it's saving $2, but, over time, $2 here, $2 there adds up. And, when you understand value, then, you're going to understand just because the market trades a price, it doesn't mean necessarily that's what it's worth. Okay. Because, value is shifting. Value is always shifting. And, something that people that trade with volume profile, I think, a big mistake that they have is they just look at the volume profile for the day and just go from there. And you got to realize days start different times for different traders, right? And you could even have people that are trading value area for the last month. They're not necessarily trading it for the day, or, maybe some guy in Asia is trading the value based on the Asian hours, or some guy in Europe is trading S&Ps during the US hours, but he starts his value at when he sat down at the desk in London in the morning, right? So value isn't fixed in stone where it starts right when the day begins, okay? And, and I see it also with VWAP, right? A lot of traders like to use VWAP now. That's the new thing that everyone's, over the last few years, oh, VWAP this, VWAP that. You got to trade a reversion to the mean. Well, later in the day, if you ever watch VWAP, right, it's volume weighted average price. But late in the day, when 80% of the volume is already traded, it's not going to move very much. It gets flat late in the day, right? Whereas if you're trading VWAP around, 8:30 right after the cash opens, VWAP's going to fluctuate more. Okay, you're going to have more movement earlier in the day than late in the day because it's flatline, not flatline, but it's gone flat. Okay, so you got to understand that. And the way big traders use VWAP, the majority of traders use it as a measure of execution, right? So, the big trader at Tudor calls his brokers, yeah, sell me 3,000 S&Ps over the next 15 minutes. Okay, so it starts at, it gives me the order at right now, I think it's 5:11 right now in Chicago. You got 15 minutes to do it. So by 5:26, I should be done. Okay, because that's his parameters. And I'm going to come back to him with the fill. Oh, your average price is 42.3445. Well, he's going to say, well, VWAP was 42.3401. Why are you off almost half a point above VWAP? That's how big traders use it. I mean, there's other ways that they use it, but that's the main way that it's being used. They're not looking at VWAP since the market opened and saying, well, where you are, above or below VWAP since the market opened. They're concerned with where VWAP was during that time period. Okay. And the power bar sort of takes that concept of where value is over this most recent period. I'm not concerned with where, value was at 9 in the morning when it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because it could be so far away from value, it's not going to matter, right? Well, we're 30 points away from value right now. Well, there's no point in looking at value because you're so far away from it, right? But as a trader, if you could see, well, oh, you know what? Value over the last few minutes, the last 5 minutes, 15 minutes is this, is 6, but we're trading 7 or 8. Right? How can you take that relationship and trade around it? So let's take a look at this, the indicator. Okay, adding the indicator is really very easy, right? You just import it as you would any other tool. Now I already have it on my computer here, so you just click NinjaScript add-ons. I'm not going to add it on again, but I'll just take you through the steps. You just find it on your computer again. You download it, save it to your download file, and then you click open. I'm not going to do that now because it's already there. And then you just pull up a new chart. Okay, chart. You scroll from your control panel. Now, the difference with power bars and almost all my other indicators is you don't need to use tick replay, right? People have been saying, Mike, tick replay is good, but it slows down my computer. I don't know what they got in there for a nacho chip or something for their computer, because I don't have, very fancy, I just got i7s, I got i5s, Pentiums. How old I am. Those if you remember those old 486s, I used to have one of those. But, I don't have top of the line $3,000 trading computers. I have, my laptop I just bought at Best Buy a couple years ago, and I still use it, and I still run NinjaTrader on it when I travel. Right? Honestly, I get a lot of my computers online from Tiger Direct, or I'm in Chicago, so I go to Micro Center to buy something. You don't need a super fast computer to run NinjaTrader. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You can if you have the money to spend on it, but I just think that it's a bit overkill. I work at JP Morgan. Our computers were not top of the line. They don't even have graphics cards to add more screens. I'd have to literally, when someone would transfer or lose their job, I would get the computer guy to go over there and see what the person had under their screen to get it on my computer. But anyway, I'm digressing. You don't need tick replay. So, people on slower computers for whatever reason don't have to worry about running tick replay. So you can see it's unchecked, okay? So I'm just going to open a normal bar chart, okay? So this is a normal bond chart. Here is on my other screen. Let me just drag it in here, okay? Let's make it a bit bigger. Make it as big as the screen. There we go. Okay, now this is NinjaTrader. The default is a black background. Okay, the fonts I find a bit small. So what you got to do again, you could change it. You just go into properties, click on the screen, go on to properties. I like to have fonts bigger. I wear glasses, but still, 8's kind of small, or I like to have it 18. I like to see things basically on my screen. So it's bigger. Now we'll keep it black for now, just so you can understand, because the defaults are set for a black screen. So you just go under indicators to add it. I've already imported it, and you just go up here. It's at the top in this folder called the order flows. It's not going to be somewhere down here under order flows. You just find it up here at the top. Power bar version 1.1. Make sure it appears down here. Now your license key is just going to be your last name. After you purchase it, I'll register your name. It's just your last name. My last name is Valtos, and I click enable license right here. Click apply. and click OK, and you can see it on the screen. Now the colors, now these are power bars, okay, so they're coloring the bar a certain color, cyan for bullish or magenta for bearish. Now people say, well, why cyan and why magenta? Well, NinjaTrader uses green for up candles and red for down candles. Again, you could adjust the colors. Say you don't want to use cyan, okay, you don't want to use magenta, okay, well, you just pull up the properties, you change it to whatever color you want. Say you want to use blue, right? Say, oh, I don't like magenta, Mike, I want to use a different color. Okay, well, pick your color. Maybe you want to use orange, I don't know, it's up to you. Change it, right? And just click apply, and you can see blue and orange. Again, it really depends on what you want to use, but for now I'll just keep the defaults to cyan and magenta. If you're using a white screen, you probably don't want to use cyan, you should probably use blue, but again, that's up to you. So we'll start out here with just the defaults, right? This is the defaults: power bar strength 10, swing strength 0, right? Power bar bullish colors, cyan, magenta, signal, triangle, offset, and ticks. Trade parameters enabled, trade validity 2, trade entry 2. Now I'll just keep all that as the default to start with. Okay, so let's just make this chart a little bit bigger so you can see. Okay, so today, okay, this is ultra bonds, right? Now you'll see power bars, bearish ones are colored magenta, right? Bullish ones are colored cyan. Again, I just explained you can change those colors. And you're going to see triangles after the power bars, right? If the triangle comes in, then that signal is confirmed, right? If there's no triangle, in this case up, no cyan triangle, that power bar is not confirmed, okay? And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but that's under the trade entry signal. And basically what that means is if it's not confirmed, it's telling you the order flow, the value, everything in this bar is bullish. But what happens afterwards is not bullish. I don't want to say it's bearish, but it's not following through the way it should. Meaning, you and I, right? We're small traders. We trade anywhere between 1 to 5 lots. Some of you guys maybe trade 10, 15. But we're nothing compared to the big institutional traders, the guys flipping around, hundreds of contracts at a time, or even the really big guys that get the big orders to trade 5,000 at a clip. And if you're trading your 2 lots, 3 lots, and then some guy comes in, you're long, you just bought 2, but some guy comes in with an order to sell 5,000, well, you're going to get stuffed, right? You're going to get your head handed back to you on a tray, and you're going to get stopped out, right? So that's what the trade entry signal deals with, right? So, for example, it's right here, trade entry signal. It's enabled, okay? So if I disable it, I just uncheck it, right? I click apply, right? So you see that disappeared. Now you're going to see every power bar is going to have a triangle above or below it, right? If it's bullish, it's going to be below. If it's bearish, it's going to be above. Okay, that is good. But again, you're going to want to follow through order flow, right? Here is a bullish power bar, but there was no follow through order flow here, right? It just turned around and sold off. Here's a bullish power bar, didn't go any higher. Here's a bullish power bar, didn't go higher. Okay, so I like to use the trade entry signal as a filter to tell me that when the trades are coming in, that there's follow through order flow, right? Now click apply. So when you click it, right, it doesn't open up till you click apply. Now it appears. So you could adjust this. So trade valid in number of bars is 2. That's basically over the next 2 bars after the signal bar, there has to be follow through order flow within those 2 bars, right? It could happen in the next bar or the bar afterwards. Now again, you don't have to use 2. You could use any number. You could use 5. I wouldn't go higher than 5. So that would mean within the next 5 bars, there has to be follow through order flow in the direction of the signal. Now, trade entry and ticks means the market's got to move 2 ticks, right? Default is set to 2. In slower moving markets, you can set it to 1. Okay, so Either one is fine. I use 2 and 2 as mine, but you can adjust them. You know, say you want to use 5 and 2 or 3 and 1. It's up to you. But what that does, right, is that just gives you an extra filter, right, telling you, yeah, you got your bullish order flow here, but there was no follow-through order flow afterwards, right? You got your bearish order flow in this bar. Then, yes, you do have your bearish order flow coming in this bar. You get short, you know, at 31, right? And it makes that move all the way down to 20s, you know, 19. Here you got bullish order flow, but no follow through. Bullish order flow, but no follow through. You know, if you're just trading every signal blind, you're going to get chopped up. You're going to be in trades you shouldn't be taking. And, you know, most traders, when they start trading, you know, everyone comes in, oh, I got this great moving average crossover system. You know, when this line crosses, you know, the 200 crosses over the 50, you buy or you sell. Well, you know, there's a lot of times that they're just getting chopped up, right? Because they don't know how to filter out trades, right? There's no reason to take those trades other than one line crosses the other. You know, you're not getting any follow through in terms of order flow, right? You want to be going in the direction that people are buying or people are selling, right? And that's where the trade entry signals comes in, right? It's telling you get long here because, yeah, you have your bullish order flow in the power bar and the market's starting to move in that direction, right? Now people will say, well, you got this big power bar here. Should I just get long? Because it's so, you know, it's power bars, right? It's a big bar. It's powerful, isn't it? Well, there still needs to be that follow through order flow. Someone could have just had a big order they had to fill here. You know, I mean, there's guys that will just, you know, they get an order on the trading desk. Buy me 50, you know, buy me 500 ultra bonds. Okay, boom. They just buy everything all the way up to 28. You're filled. Then the market just drops back down again. You know, they're not good at their execution, so to speak, right? And, you know, if you're just reacting to that big order going through the market, well, you're going to get hung, right? And that's not what you want to do, right? You want to be trading, taking the trades where you got the follow through order flow, right? Here, follow through order flow down, follow through order flow back up, follow through order flow back down, right? This is today in the ultra bonds, right? People say, well, you know, you just picked a good market. Well, let's take a look at the previous day. I mean, even overnight, right? The same rules would apply, right? Even though you got, you know, bullish order flow here, bearish, you want to be taking the trades where it's confirmed, right? You got the bullish power bar, bearish power bars, but you want to take the ones that are being confirmed with the follow through order flow. Look at this, bullish order flow, bullish, but it's on a bar by bar basis, okay? But over here, it's telling you you got the bearish order flow and you got the bearish follow through order flow, right? You know, that's the difference, right? It's the difference between getting stopped out of 1 trade, 2 trades, 3 trades, 4 trades, when you should just be short on this entire move down. So, you know, previous day. Again, I don't have the date on here. Let's add it on. Just click on properties. Where's the show date range here? Close that down. Okay, there. So you can see 622. Again, a nice little, I'll say nice little move down. But yeah, it's a little sideways move down, a little move up here, some moves down. You know, here's a move up. Here's this little move down here, move up. Now, ultra bonds, again, you know, I sent a nice email out yesterday about scalping the ultra bonds. You know, I find ultra bonds is a great scalper's market because, you know, it trades, each tick is 31.25, and, you know, if you make 4 ticks, that's already, what is that? It's like $125, right? You don't need to be making 10 points, 20 points, 30 points. You know, you could be scalping in and out. 4 points here, 3 points there, 4 points there. At the end of 3 or 4 trades, you already got your $400, right? Your $500. That's it. You know, you don't need to be sitting in front of a screen all day. You catch 4 points here, 4 points down here. You get stopped out here, another 4 points here. You know, another 4 points there. Right? You're done. It's 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning. Right? Now, email today, I got someone asked me specifically to talk about soybeans. Okay, not everybody trades soybeans. You know, everyone likes to come to the markets. Oh, you know, NASDAQ, you know, because it moves around a lot. You know, it's great. You know, I'm on Top Step Trader. I trade NASDAQ. I trade E-minis. Well, there's so many other markets that move beautifully, right? Especially that follow order flow beautifully. You know, you don't need to be, you know, trading and feeling like you've just been wrestling with the market for an hour, you know, or when you, by trading NASDAQ, right? You trade some of these other markets that move quite nicely. Now here's soybeans today, okay? Just go back, you know, soybeans open up at 8:30, right in here. You know, nice move up, nice move down. Now, let's get into some of these settings here. There's not many settings, honestly. I've tried to keep it as clean as possible, right? Because, you know, people get confused with so many different, you know, I released an indicator on absorption. It's a great indicator, but I set up different types of absorption that you could look for in the indicator. I think it's 8 different types of absorption. Everyone wants to click all 8 of them. Well, you know, you're going to find absorption, and it got too messy and too confusing for a lot of people. So I try to keep things simple now, in the sense of, on the back end, you know, what you're looking at on the actual footprint is in here, right? Try to keep it as simple as possible. So you're going to have a couple things to deal with here. Basically, the power bar strength and swing strength. Now, power bar strength, even though we write 10 to 85, it's actually 0 to 100, but you're not going to use 0. If you're going to use 0, you might as well not use the indicator at all. I mean, what's the point of having a strength set to 0, okay? 100 is going to be too strong. You're probably not going to get any signals. So, you know, 10 to 85, yeah, you can actually use 5, but 5 is very weak. So, you know, I set it to 10 to 85. 50 would be about the midpoint, okay? And again, it's not about using 13 or 52. You know, you could use, you know, 10, 25, 30, 35, you know, 50, 65, 70, 75, like that, 85. But, you know, the main ones should be 10, you know, maybe 30 or 35, I don't know. 50, you know, 65, 75, like that. I don't go around trying to finesse, oh, this market is 48, like that. No, you know, you shouldn't have to curve fit that much anything. So 50, okay, so 50 is, you know, is about moderate strength, okay? And you can see here, right? It's a nice buy here. Here's your nice sells here. You know, this buy didn't work. People say, oh, yeah, this buy here didn't work. Well, okay, you got stopped out. You know, that happens. But then you got to be able to take the next trade, right? You're getting short around the 05 area before it drops down literally 10 cents. Excuse me. Drink some water. Sorry for coughing. But, you know, it's set to 50 right now, okay? And you're seeing, okay, you know, here's a trade, went sideways. Here's a trade, didn't work out. Then you got another bullish buy here, right? You got a nice, you know, 4 cent move, 5 cent move there. Now, the way you would trade it, okay, people say, well, where are you going to place your, you know, you're going to get short, you're going to place your stop where? Well, I have a bearish power bar here, okay? If it's a bearish bar, you know, you're going to get short, then you're going to put in a buy stop. Where are you going to put your buy stop? On the other side of that power bar. So in this case, the power bar high is 9 1/4. So my stop should be up here at 9 1/2. And then we want to give a little room, 9 3/4. But definitely just above that high of that particular power bar, just as bullish one here, right? You're going to get, this is your bullish power bar here, all right? The low is 13 00 1/4. So your stop is going to be here, 13 00 or 99 3/4 right here. It's up to you. I use the one tick below. I don't use the exact low. I use it, you know, one tick below. You know, just that's why this one here would have stopped you out, right? You're getting long right in here at 07. Your stop is at 4 3/4. You get stopped out. Okay, get short here. All right, you're getting short at, you know, 4 3/4. Your stop is just right here at 6 1/2. Okay, you buy it here, 98 1/2, 98 3/4. Your sell stop is right here, 96 1/4. It just goes sideways, all right, before eventually it comes down and you know, would stop you out. But again, if you're in a trade and it's just going sideways, you're in at 942 and it's 10 o'clock and it's just going nowhere, you got to be asking yourself, should you still be in that trade? Me, I like to give it 5-10 on a minute based chart. I only give it 5 or 10 minutes. I don't wait an hour for it to go in my favor. I expect the moves to start happening, pretty soon. Not like this, right? You get long here, then it's just, another minute, 3, 4, 5, 6, before, here, this one stopped you out right here. But still, here, you're getting long. It comes back down, doesn't stop you out because your stop is here at 5. The low is 5 1/4 of this bar. Your stop is at 5. And then it makes that move up to, 02. I definitely have a price target in mind. Now, this is soybeans, right? And soybeans aren't as active as equities overnight, but there's still trades to be had. There's nothing wrong with scalping at 5 in the morning, a couple cents if you can. Scalping from 5 1/4 down to 4 1/4. So 50, or even in here, right? Getting short. 8 1/2. Even in here, 8 3/4. It's a nice move down. To 4 1/2. But here's some buys. Trade signals did not trigger, right? That's why we have this trade entry signal, right? Because there could be bearish order flow bars, power bars, right? But it's not moving 2 ticks over the next 2 bars, right? It only moves, here's the power bar, right? The low is 2 1/4, the bearish power bar. It only goes down to 2 1/4. So the low is, 2 1/2. It only got as low as 2 1/4, right? And then just went sideways, right? That's not a trade you want to take, just as this is not a trade you want to take, right? Bullish power bar, but no follow through order flow. Could have just been a big order. Maybe somebody, hey, sell me 50. It's 1:30 in the morning. Sell me 50 beans, or buy me 50 beans. Okay, they did. Then the market goes nowhere. Okay, so go back previous day. Someone will say, well, you're just showing that because it was a nice move. No, someone asked me for that. So here's, again, the previous day. This is the 22nd, right? Market opens up 8:30 here, works its way down. Okay, you got bearish power bar, does nothing. Just sort of goes, it triggers, right? Then 3 candles up, then another down. And then again, it can't go any further down. Then you got a bullish power bar. Now no buy triggered here, right? You don't have that cyan triangle here because it didn't go any higher over the next 2 bars. Finally, it did here, right? Here you got your bullish power bar, and finally it popped up here, closed back down inside the power bar before, but you'd be long, right? So the high of this bar is 10 3/4. So 2 ticks over the next 2 bars is 11 1/4. So you're getting long here, 11 1/4. You took up, a little bit of heat down to 10 before, boom, it moves from 11 1/4 all the way up to, in this case, 22. It's a 10-cent move in what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, right? And then boom, you get your bearish power bar here. It's a quick drop here, then it move back up, right? Bearish power bar sideways, comes down a little bit. This one would have stopped you out, didn't go any further. Here's one, would have reversed you here, went back up. Couple power bars, dropped down. Some bullish power bar, came back into the power bar, but didn't stop you out before going higher. Then you got the bearish one, and it dropped from, what is that level? 21, 20 3/4. Well, all the way down. Even though you got bullish power bar here, no follow through. Then bearish, bearish, all bearish signs. Bearish, 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 bearish. And, this is what this area is here. What, 20 3/4, 20 1/2, all the way down, 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 down. Just down. Even if you miss that, even if you miss your short in here, right? Because your stop should just be, 22 1/2 or 22 1/4 is a high here. 22 1/2 is the high right here. You should, you're not stopped out, right? So you missed this trade, whatever reason, fine. You take this trade here, or even this trade here, you're still catching a beautiful move. Okay. And then it closed in here. But, you know, that's soybeans, right? But, you know, again, there's so many different markets to trade besides S&Ps and NASDAQ, you know. And it's more glamorous to say you're a NASDAQ trader or an S&P trader than, you know, soybean trader. But you know what? Soybeans, up until start of mini S&Ps, I think soybeans I made more millionaires than any other market. But it's a great market to trade because it follows order flow really well. Now here's mini Dow, right? I'm just using the same settings that I was just showing you on the other market, right? 50 power bar strength, 50, which is sort of its midpoint, right? Swing strength, now I'm going to get into that in a minute, I have set to 0, okay? I'm going to talk about swing strength later. But you can see, right, late in the day, right, you got this nice move down from where? 30, you know, the low of this power bar is what, 39, so you know 2 ticks would be 37, so you get filled at the worst price, 35, 36, right? A little bit of heat, only up to 43, but you're getting short, you know, call it 36, all the way down to the cash close. You know, you're probably going to get out a little bit before the cash close, but down to the 80 area, right in here, right? That's what, 50 points. Now, that was a late move, but you know, let's just go back to the beginning of the day here. Where's the beginning? 8:30. Okay, so you got a little bit of sell signals coming in right on, you know, right ahead of the cash open. Cash open, obviously you got a big bar. You know, it's not advisable to trade the first few minutes of the cash open because you get a lot of bars like this where they're all over the place. 35 all the way up to, what is that? You know, 900. It's a 70, 65 point bar, right? You know, that's not where you want to be getting involved in the market. Right? It'd be nice if you shorted it up here, but you know, the reality is most people are going to get short down here and then get stopped out up there. Yeah, you let the market calm down, get some normal bars forming, and you get a little sell here. Okay, you got a buy that unfortunately didn't really do much. You know, then again, tried another buy here, again, not doing much, and then boom, you get a nice buy here, right? This one, you know, is from the 22 area all the way up into the 70s. You know, it's a nice 50-point move up, followed by what? You know, a nice move down. Unfortunately, though, this one would have stopped you out because I used the high of the power bar right here as my stop level. You know, so 79 is the high. I would use 81, 82 as my stop, and it just stopped me out before it fell over. This one did nothing. Then you got a little move here. This one just went sideways. A little move up here. It's not this power bar you're buying. You're buying it off of this one here. The move down. Sideways, again, a little bit of a move up, nice move down. Doesn't look like much, but this is about a 30, 40 point drop right there. Little sideways back and forth. You know, this is, again, I'm just using the same rough settings as before. You know, depending on the market, you're probably going to want to adjust it, right? You know, you got your power bar, bearish power bar right here. All right, before that big bar where it drops from, you know, the 16 area down to, you know, 01. Now, again, the settings, right? So I explained, whoops, it's data series. The settings, the 50 is about mid-level, okay? You could go as high as, I don't say 100, you know, it'd be 99, but I wouldn't go over 85. 75 is about as high as I would go. So let's take a look at 75. You're going to see less signals. Obviously, the higher the strength is that you go. Okay, so you can see now, you know, do you see any signals? Not many. You know, here's a buy here. Here's a sell here. Here's a buy there. You know, if I was going on a higher strength, power bar strength, I would use it more for scalping just the next few ticks rather than trying to catch big moves. It's not correlated in that sense. There's some power in the market, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to always go on in that direction to infinity. Okay. Now, if you use a lower number, 10, especially on a market as volatile as, say, YM, you're going to get a lot of signals, right? Up here, down here, up here, down here. Now, if I was using a lower power bar strength, right, 10, I would use swing strength, okay, because you're going to get a lot of signals. But now this time what you want to do is you want to use you want to take in more bars into the equation, so to speak, right? And what swing strength does is it looks over additional bars, okay? So if setting it to 1, 0 is basically to disable it. Setting it to 1 is the lowest you can do once it's turned on. Entering a value turns it on, basically. 0 disables it because it's not looking at anything. But 1, on a market that's volatile and you have a low power bar strength is a good idea. So let's set it at 10 and 1. Now if I had it at 75 and 1, I'm probably going to get very few signals. But let's go with 10 and 1 and take a look. All right, so you can see here, right, now it's looking for swing highs and swing lows, right? It's looking for a swing period. So you can see, here's at 814, you got to buy, okay, a little bit move up, and then boom, 817, you got the sell. It's a nice move down. Now this is why we use the trade entry signal, is because you see here, right, you see the cyan bar, but it doesn't go any higher. Cyan bar doesn't go any higher. That's why you don't see those triangles. So it's keeping you short, and it's keeping you out of these losing trades here, right? Now, here you got this little move down, got this nice move up. Again, it doesn't look like much at this time because this market's pretty volatile, but here's your power bar here at this swing low. And the high of this power bar is what, 29? So you're using 2 ticks, so that'd be 31. You're getting long at the highest of this bar, 31, right? And then it sort of closes back down a little bit, and you're long from 31, and it goes from 31 all the way up to 70. What is that? 75. That's a 40-point move there, right? And then nothing on this move down. Okay, some people, they want to expect order flow to give them every single movement in the market. Well, that's more advanced order flow. That's where you're going to be looking at a footprint chart, right? And trying capturing these moves, right? And you're not going to see it on a dome, right? Right now, this is the dome, right? Now, granted, it's 5:44 at night, and it's pretty quiet, right? Market's dead right now. But during the day, things are moving around very quickly, right? Right now, the market is very quiet since the reopen. Here, it just moved. It's not moving right now. You can see it moving, but during the day, it's, it's moving all over the place, right? And someone said, well, the way you should really scalp, because I sent that email out about scalping. Ultra bonds is a nice market to scalp. Is you got to look at a dome, right? You can't look at an indicator. Well, if you're looking at a dome, right, you need a trigger, something to tell you to take a trade, okay? And if you're not taking that trade based on whatever reason, you're just trying to figure it out on a dome. Well, when a dome is not moving, it's a lot easier than during the main session where the market's moving faster. Now, yeah, granted, if you're a Rain Man or somebody, that can count, a 20 deck shoe in blackjack, yeah, okay, great, good on you. But majority of people, can't, right? I've been looking at a dome since the early days of Globex when I left the trading floor in the 90s, right? I've been trading on the old Globex system. And, there was a dome back then. We used to go sweep the order book in there. We could see where the size was, and we would sweep it and things like that. And, we'd do all sorts of stuff back in those days, in the sense of, in those days at night session, that's when SPs are trading 400, a 20 lot was considered a very big order. But, now it just, market moves too fast on a dome for overwhelming majority of traders, right? You need something to trigger them to get into a trade, because they won't say, well, yeah, when the big size flashes in the dome, then you're gonna, you jump in front of it. Well, try and stare at a dome all day long. Now you're gonna want to bang your head against the wall trying to figure stuff out. I mean, it's nice you see stuff and it happens and you're right, but all day long trying to be that consistent is hard for a lot of traders, and you need tools that's going to help you, right? Like this bar, right? This is the bar from 22 all the way down to 92, right? What is that? 30-point down bar, right? This is the other trades you want, and you're getting the signal right before that move, right? You see this bearish power bar right here, and you know, right, if you have the bearish signal, you want to be getting short, okay? But you got the bearish power bar, but you don't get the triangle till the next bar when it moves 2 ticks. As soon as it moves 2 ticks, that's when it's going to print. Now, if you have the trade entry signal turned off, okay, right, it's disabled there. Now, what you're seeing is you're seeing the signal on the power bar, right? Just as you're seeing the signal here, here, right, here, here. Well, that's all well and good, but you know, you probably don't want to be taking that trade. And you know, I know people get excited. You know, they see a big bar or they see some movement in the market and they want to get long or get short. You got to wait for the bar to close. And you know, I see it with people trading, you know, 5-minute bar, 10-minute bar. Halfway into the bar, they're already thinking, oh, it's very bearish, I gotta get short, right? They're trading at a 10-minute bar. They get short after 6 minutes. Well, the last 4 minutes, everything changes in the bar that becomes from very bearish to very bullish, right? But they got short already because the first 6 minutes was very bearish. Well, they shouldn't be trading a 5-minute bar, a 10-minute bar like that. They might as well be trading a 5-minute bar, because what's the point is things change in a bar, right? If you've ever watched how bars form, you know, they don't just go straight up or straight down. They go up and down, up and down, up and down before they finally close, right? So you need the bar to close, then you need the follow through order flow. So that's why we have this trade entry signal. Again, you don't have to use it. If you're a scalper, you might not want to use it. Just see every signal. So 2 and 2. And then just trade them, right? But again, you could just trade every signal and drop in a sell stop right here. You know, I got a bearish bar forming. Okay, I could be ready if this market breaks, 20. I could be sitting here with a sell stop already entered, right? Or you could have it, tell you that, hey, you know what? There's a signal for you to take. Okay, so here's a bearish power bar, but no follow through order flow, so I don't get that signal. Here's one. It started going down, but it reversed, right? It went back up. That would have stopped you out. Okay, fine. You get stopped out in trading, right? Nothing is 100% perfect. I wish I could say this is 100% perfect, but I know I've traded long enough, my whole professional career, to know that nothing is certain. I know you could have all the best information. Oh, everything is just perfect lined up, but for whatever reason, conditions change, and they even change not just on a macro level, but on a micro level, right? Over the next 10 seconds, things can change. Something can come out. Trump's not president anymore, so he's not tweeting. He's banned from Twitter, but you don't know what it's like. You're trading the markets happily. You're up $400 or $500. What's the next thing you know? Boom, you stopped out. You lost everything in an extra $100 because why? You don't know yet until later. Oh, Trump tweeted something, right? And that's why, wait for the confirmation of the bar to close. Here's a nice sell right here, right? Here's your nice bar to get short on, all right? You get the follow through order flow, from 70 all the way down to, I don't want to say double low, but, at least down in here to, the 20 area, 10, 20 area. A little move up, a little move down, a little sideways. There's a short that didn't work. You should have been short here. People say, well, the short didn't work. Well, you just had your short signal 10 bars earlier at, 30 points higher. That's the short you should have taken. Here's a long. Okay, I don't know how this bar formed. I don't know if this low was put in before or after this bar, moved. Because lots of times you're going to see, with the trade entry signal, it can go up and down, back and forth. But if I had my stop here at 74 and this low was formed, after we made that move up, then yeah, that would stop me out. But there's times where the bars come in, make that new low, and then trade higher. That wouldn't stop you out. Then you catch that move up. Again, here's something that's going sideways. Now, again, this market's going sideways, but you get short in here, and then it just goes sideways for the next 20 minutes. you shouldn't be stuck in a trade for 20 minutes if it's going nowhere. That's your sign to get out of the trade. And this is where it gets interesting, right? You got your bearish power bar, bearish power bar, bearish power bar. So no follow through order flow here, no follow through order flow here. Finally, you got that follow through order flow here. But you can see the signs that things were bearish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before it finally broke. And when it broke, it broke, close to 40 points, from 05 down to 65, right? Then the move back up here, right? You're buying it in here, right? The height of this power bar is 87, so you're getting long around 88, 89, 90. Your stop is down here at 78, or sorry, 77, right? The low is 78. You should be getting your stop at 77. Now, it's not uncommon for a bar to pull back into the power bar, right? Because the power bar is a measure of value, right? And you know that as you break out from value, you can retrace back into value, decide whether it's going to accept it or reject it, and move away, right? It came back into value, back into, the 83 area, 82, 81, before going all the way up into the 20s, right? 30s. Now, there's different ways to trade. Me, I like to trade. I like to get in as soon as the market moves in that direction, right? As soon as I got that follow through order flow, I'm getting in. But if I'm scaling into the market, right? Because now with the micros, you can do that. You got a little bit more flexibility, right? So, you get in a few contracts right away. Then you could stack some bids in here. Wait for that pullback to come in. And, average your price on your fill. I mean, your stop is still going to be here, right? It's not that if I'm buying it in here at 82, I'm going to put in a lower stop. No, the power bar is my stop, right? And then it went back up. Here it just sort of went sideways on you. Again, it's trying to break, doesn't really break. That should be your sign. Trading is not an exact science, right? There's some science to it, but it's not rocket science, okay? And, it takes some common sense. So, okay, yeah, I've got my bearish power bar here. Yeah, it's come off about 4 or 5 ticks, rallies back up, doesn't stop me out, makes another move down here, down to 05, but just can't break any further. Then it's like, well, what do you want to do? Well, this was your move, right? You're expecting a move, made a small one, and then pulled back, then try to make a bigger one, and it's starting to pull back. Okay, you get out, right? You don't wait for it to come all the way back up here to stop you out. If it's not making that move, you move your stop to break even, so you're not getting stopped out at the full loss, or maybe a little bit, take a smaller loss, but you don't want it to come all the way back up and stop you out, right? I mean, that's trading, okay? It's got nothing to do with power bars. It's got to do with trading, understanding trading. But again, there's a move here, right? It's sort of back and forth. Maybe you're getting long in here, but then you got the bearish sign in here, keeps you short, a little back and forth. So, you're sort of grinding your wheels, right? You're getting short in here, then you got your bullish sign here, and you're getting long, from the 97, 98 area all the way up to, late in the day when you're trading, this is 30, say you don't want to wait till the cash close. You're long in here from 95, 96, trading 25, you're happy, it's 30 points. Excuse me. Sorry there. I had a little coughing attack. I think I caught one cough on recording, but before I was able to pause it. But again, you could see, sort of the flexibility in the indicator. Again, if you're a scalper, let's take a look at some other of these scalping markets. Honestly, I haven't looked at bonds in the last couple of days, last 2 days or so. So I've been on the road a lot. So this is a 1-minute chart in the bonds. You get a lot of this, right? Bonds, that's, I used to love trading bonds. I sort of moved into ultra bonds, but you get a lot of this bid offer, right? Trading. I like these markets that don't move around a lot sometimes because they give good opportunities. You only got to get quick hits. Here was a nice little quick hit. But what do I got this setting at? I would turn off swing strength on a market like bonds, right? I would just turn it off because I want to see as many signals as possible, but still keep the trade entry signal on, right? So you've seen the trade entry signal there. some bearish bars, but you're not seeing any short opportunities there. You know, here's a nice short in here. You know, the 29 area, it did pull back a little bit to 31, pulled back 2 ticks before it dropped from 29 all the way down to 19. This was just today. Honestly, I didn't look at this market till just now, right? Here was a nice little short here. But again, on bonds, you know, I'm happy to scalp 3 or 4 ticks at a time. Now, this is a 1-minute chart, and honestly, you're not going to you can't get any information, whether you're trading order flow or anything, on 1 minute in the bonds where it's just flatline like that, right? Trade just one price. You know, I know people that they like to use 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you know, 5 minutes you could even use on bonds. But again, if you're scalping bonds, you really want to be on a short enough time frame to catch some decent moves. You know, 5 minutes. You know, when you're dealing with order flow, okay, the issue is freshness of data, right? You don't want to be trading something that happened an hour ago, 2 hours ago, right? You want to be trading based on what's happening right now. Now, this is bonds on a 5-minute chart. Now, that's not to say that you can't, but it depends on the type of trading that you're doing, right? Maybe, you know, you want to trade a longer time frame, 30 minutes. You can as well, but that's a different style of trading, right? And it's not how I trade, but depending on other people, you know, you can see, right? There's nice move up, nice move up, nice move down, right? It's a different type of trading for people. Okay, this is a 30-minute chart. So imagine, you know, the flexibility that you're going to see in different markets, right? Now, you know, people ask, well, what about, you know, these other markets? Like, I don't trade futures. You know, I trade other things. You know, I trade, I don't know, Apple. Oh, I don't have the right quote feed. This is my continuum quote feed. So let me just switch over real quick on the quote feed here. Go over from there. Let's go to Kinetic sand. Now, okay, connected here. So this is Apple. All right. What do I got on here? 10 and 0. Okay, so the default settings. So it's going to give me signals, you know, in a rapid, I'll say fast and furious, but, you know, pretty quick. So let's just sort of break it down. It says calculating, so it's still calculating. You know, just it's going over the historical data. Obviously, you don't need tick data enabled, but let's see what comes up here. Let's see, I give it a second here to calculate. It's the first time I have Apple data on this computer, so that's why it's taking a bit longer than normal. So just bear with me here. Okay. Okay, so here it's come back up. What do I get? So again, let's take a look at the settings. And NinjaTrader's freezing up on me because it's trying to read the data for my futures charts. So you got a love-hate relationship with NinjaTrader. When I change the data feed, it's slowing everything down initially because I got all my futures charts it's trying to pull up the historical data for. So 10 and 0. Okay, now a lot of signals. Okay, fine. I'm seeing basically every single signal, right, that's being generated. Again, this is Apple, right? A lot of people like to day trade Apple. I mean, you're seeing some nice moves up, nice moves down. It's keeping you out of these trades that you shouldn't be in here and here. Yeah, I mean, are there some losers? Yeah, here's a loser here. Here's a loser there. But you catch this nice move up from the swing low. I mean, you know, at 133.40, you know, all the way up until 134. All right, you know, there's a lot of people out there that trade stocks. They just want to make, you know, 25, 30 cents per stock. You know, they trade 100 lots and they're done, right? You have your opportunity to make your 25 cents, your 50 cents, back and forth all day long, right? This is Apple. Okay, so you have, excuse me, you know, there are you know, opportunities there, right? Whether you're trading stocks, futures. Well, let's see, I'm on my kinetic connection, so let's take a look at Forex. I don't know. Let's look at Euro Japanese yen. I don't look at Euro USD because that's basically looking at 6E. But let's take a look here. Is it up yet? Still calculating. Okay. This is right now. This is Euro USD. Okay, it's, I don't know what time it is. It's 6:03 p.m. Wednesday night. Okay, so the market just you'll say, oh, you got a short here and it failed. Well, the market closed right here, essentially. I know it's Forex trades 24 hours. You know, the reopen is right here, right? So you catch that nice little move up, a little move down, a little move up. But you know, during the day session, you know, how did it look? What am I looking at? A 1 minute chart. All right, this nice move here. Again, more move down, move up. Euro USD, obviously, you know, there's certain times of the day I think it's going to trade better. You know, but a move from what, 132.44 here, you know, down to 132.37. There's a lot of movement, right, to be had. Now this one is kind of tight, or sorry, kind of loose because it's set to 10. So maybe, you know, you want to add a swing filter, set it to 1. Well, not 10, but set it to 1. And let's see here. Okay, so here's your bearish power bar followed by a bullish one, which caught that move. A couple bearish ones here. This bullish one, fortunately, would have probably stopped you out. Here's a little move here, some moves here, moves up here. Again, you know, you could adjust it. You know, maybe you say 10 is too loose. Okay, so you know, you want to change that to 0. Use a higher swing filter. Again, it depends on the market you're trading, right? There's no perfect setting for every single market. You know, markets are trade differently. You know, here it's set to 50 and 0. Okay, right? 50 and 0. You're seeing some better trade opportunities here and here. Okay, here, catch this nice move down, right? All the way down from 132.56, you know, all the way down. You know, you get your first bullish signal here at 44. Okay, so you know, there's plenty of opportunity to be had there. So the final thing I want to talk about Bitcoin. Okay, now on NinjaTrader, there is a, let me get my control panel up here, control center, and disappeared on me. Okay, here we go. Disconnect this. This is my kinetic setting. Go to configure. Now you get data from Coinbase. Okay, so you gotta add it. You gotta set it up here, right? You just click on it, and it'll come up here, and it'll appear down here under configured. Okay, just click apply. You don't need it to start up on connect on startup. Just connect it when you connect. Okay, click apply. So you have it set up in there. Then you got to connect to it. So you click connect to Coinbase. Okay, then that's what these cryptos are here. So you got to choose one. I don't know. Choose Bitcoin, BTC. Now it may take a, well, this one came up pretty quick, But you can see it's calculating right now, the indicator. So let's see how it comes up. Again, it's the first time I've downloaded Coinbase data onto this PC. So the initial time, the first time, it might take a little bit longer than normal. Okay. So just bear with me here. Now, you know, I'm kind of split on trading crypto and buying and holding, right? You get diamond hands. Everyone says, I gotta have diamond hands. You just buy it and you just forget about it. And then when it goes down, you just never sell until it goes back up again. But, yeah, I was buying Bitcoin last year. I sold it around 48, and I was sort of kicking myself because after I sold it at 48, went back all the way up to 60. But you know, then I got some money in some coins, but you know, it's funny because, you know, people say, you know, do you really trade crypto or do you just hold it? But yeah, this indicator, you can, if you're a trader, right? I have accounts, you know, Coinbase, at Kraken, you know, a place like Kraken you can trade. I wouldn't recommend trading, active trading on Coinbase, but you know, you should use a regular crypto exchange for that, you know, where you can see the depth of market, the best bid, the best offer. Coinbase, you know, you buy it and then you wait for your confirmation so you know what price you bought it. It reminds me of those old days when you traded stock, you know, back in, you know, I don't say back in the 70s, but back in the 80s, right? You call up your broker and then you wait, you know, you tell them to buy the stock, and then you wait for your regular mail to come with, you know, your confirmation of basically the price you paid. You know, it's pre-internet days. And, you know, Coinbase, it's like, okay, I'm going to buy Bitcoin here, and it's like one of those things you see, well, I'm filled at a price that's doesn't look like it's even trading. All right, so just give it a second here. You know, sometimes it's a bit slow on the data come up first few times. I adjusted the what do you call it? The setting there. There we go. So, you know, there's some moves, you know, some decent moves you could catch. Again, I don't, you know, I'm not one that's going to be advocating, you know, day trading in and out of Bitcoin. I mean, you can, obviously, but, you know, is that really what you really want to do? Again, this is a 1 minute chart. You know, you could pull up, you know, 5 minute, 15 minutes, you know, 60 minutes. But again, you know, that big push down here yesterday. Let's see how it looks on the, I haven't looked on a 30-minute chart. But just give it a second here. I said Coinbase, you know, the data, when it comes in, sometimes it almost feels like it's pulling a fresh set, you know, unlike, you know, these other data providers. When you change your chart, it's just like almost instantly. But with Coinbase, it feels like it's going back to Coinbase and pulling fresh data in. Sometimes that's I haven't looked at it, but on the back end, or had my programmer look into it, but that's what it feels like sometimes, right? It's just going out there and it's got to pull in the 30-minute data and sort of analyze it like that. But again, you know, you could use it for charting and then just sort of go from there. You know, I really wish, you know, so, oh, please, Santa Claus, can NinjaTrader connect to a real, I'll say a real, but, you know, another crypto exchange besides Coinbase. You know, you can't trade on Coinbase via NinjaTrader as far as I know, but you could use the data, right? But how I wish NinjaTrader doesn't have to pivot, but just open it up, you know? But I think they're so caught up in their, what do you want to call it? Their NinjaTrader brokerage, right, for futures, that crypto is not really something that they're thinking about. But who knows? You know, there's a lot of interest in crypto now because obviously the last 6 months, its movement, or the last year basically. But if you remember back in 2018 when we crashed from 20,000, it was dead for the longest time. Nobody was interested in it anymore. But now that the market's gone back up, everyone seems to be interested in it again. I don't know if it's going to stay there again. This is not a what do you want to call it? A advertisement for crypto or anything. But again, if it's something you want to analyze, you can. So let's just give it a minute here to come back up. Pause this first. Okay, you know what? I canceled the 30-minute chart and I pulled up a 5-minute chart instead. Coinbase is acting too darn slow with NinjaTrader at this moment right now. But anyway, this is a 5-minute chart on Bitcoin. Again, it's set at pretty, what's it set at? I forgot settings, 50, 75, and 2. Okay, so again, if Bitcoin is one of those things, do you really want to be trading it? I don't know. I see people, in and out. What is considered a trade in Bitcoin? Is it something you just buy? For me personally, I just buy. I don't like to look at the price once I buy it. I just like to buy it, sort of forget about it for a while, and then sort of cursory glance at it. Because, trading 24/7, on the weekends you want to look at it. But again, if you're into trading it or consider trading it, this is how it looks with the Coinbase. Now, really quick, I'll probably regret doing this, but let me pull up the CME version. I promise this presentation will be ending pretty soon. Let me just reconnect to my futures data and pull up CME. Should be coming up here. So let's give it a sec. Now it's got to pull up all my futures data. So I got futures charts, a lot of futures charts on this screen. But let me just pause it for a minute here while it comes up, because I got like 30 futures charts it's got to load up with the data. So just give me 1 sec. I'll just pause it real quick. Okay, so anyway, here's the CME Bitcoin contract again. It's a 5-minute chart, and doesn't look too bad if you're trading in the CME contract. Now they got the micro contracts. Got them listed under micros here. I forgot what it's called. Micro. I don't know. Honestly, the micro Bitcoin contract I was hoping would have a lot of volume. So far, it hasn't yet. I forgot this. I forgot the contract already. Under Bitcoin. Yeah, sorry. I'm sort of getting sidetracked a little bit on this MBT. This presentation. The earlier presentation I had some issues with the screen. But anyway, this is the micro contract. See right now it's at 645 thereabouts. It's kind of illiquid, but during the day, I don't know. It looks, you could scalp it. Definitely, it's a 5-minute chart, but not every trade is going to be a big winner. If you go, let's go back to the regular Bitcoin contract. At least that's got some decent volume to trade. Again, this is a 30-minute chart. I'm kind of curious how it's going to look on. Actually, it's a 5-minute chart. A 30-minute chart should come up decent. Catch this nice move here today from, I don't know what that is, 3,100 right here up to 3,200. I don't know. Or sorry, 3,100, 31,000. Sorry. Up to 32,000 right here, 32,000. Got up to 33 on that move. Caught this move down. Here was, that probably would have stopped you out. But this move here, 31.5 down to 29.5. But again, this is on the big contract. The micro is going to be a bit different, but that's on a 30-minute chart. Okay, I venture to see what it looks like on a 1-minute chart. You're probably gonna get a whole lot of nothing. Well, maybe during the US day session, volume is picking up a bit on this contract. Yeah, still not enough volume, I'd say, on a 1 minute chart. I mean, there's trades to be had, but again, nothing to get too enthused about on a 1 minute chart. You probably want to stick to like a 5 minute chart or something on there. But again, 5 minute on CME Bitcoin is okay. You can trade that against, the micro against that one. Use that as a guide. You can catch some decent moves. 30, somewhere in here, 34,000. All right, you take a little bit of heat. 34, 200, 250, all the way down to 33 and change. 33,300 here, 33,400. There's moves to be had, but again, honestly, futures provide enough opportunity for traders, in my opinion, that you don't need to spread yourself so thin on a lot of different markets. So go to orderflowspowerbars.com, www.orderflowspowerbars.com. This is the page. Nothing fancy on this one. Just scroll down. Again, you could change the colors of your screen. Just click this button here that says I want Power Bar, right? And it takes you to PayPal. PayPal processes everything. Once I get your information, I send it right out to you. So again, thanks everybody. For those of you that started watching the original presentation, I apologize for what happened. You should have got an email regarding that, but this is the replay. So I hope you enjoy this replay, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. So thanks everybody. Bye bye.